Miami.
All right, here it is, another episode of the King and Ragone Show.
Episode 3.
Episode 3. Today we got the man, the myth, the legend, DJ Williams. Yeah.
What's good, fellas? What's good?
If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody, that don't already know who you are.
DJ Williams, ex-University of Miami linebacker.
Great. One of the greats.
11-year NFL vet, played 9 years in Denver, 2 years in Chicago. Currently Mr. Dime Life.
Mr. Dime Life, yes, sir.
And I tell you what, though, that Dime Life, like he just bought us a bunch of gear, a bunch of stuff. That shit, it's lit.
That's what we're wearing right now. Wearing it right now.
For sure.
Yeah, we chopped it up with you, for about 30 minutes just before. We had some Denver cut Wagyu steaks from Josh's Premium Meats.
And it's probably some of the best steak I've tried. Like I know I said that all the time, but this Denver cut Wagyu steak is pretty good. For sure.
Yeah, my whole little vegan vegetarian thing, that thing got to start again. I'm starting that over next month.
Yeah, starting next
Hey,
week.
I had got a little juice on my finger.
Oh, yeah, it was good now. Hey, so tell us about yourself. We know you're a Cali man, came to University of Miami. How was that transition?
Yeah, so I was originally born Sacramento, California, grew up in the Bay Area, went to John Baptist De La Salle.
It's
It's a pretty big time school when it comes to football. Coming out of high school, I was the #1 recruit in the country. At that time, people were saying football is biggest in Texas and Florida.
True, that's true.
And California. Let's throw it in there, right?
Y'all can be 3.
Let's go.
I don't think that's the order. But, honestly, I wanted to challenge myself, because I had got freshman of the year, junior of the year, senior of the year. Now I'm at the senior. Now I got senior of the year. And I was like, they're saying I'm the best. I need to go where the best play. So I had my 5 trips. I took a trip to Michigan. I actually took a trip to UT.
Okay.
I took a trip to Cal, just, because it's around the corner from home. I tried to take a trip to Hawaii. Right? I tried to
Just for the trip,
did
though.
that, that free vacay, man. But my coach was like, nah, we know what you're doing. You're not going there. And then I took a trip to the University of Miami. And ironically, it was really on some fluke shit. Like, I had Hawaii picked. My coach said no, because because back then you had to commit. So my coach was like, you're going to commit to Hawaii, take the trip, and then decommit when you come back. It's going to look bad on the school. So he was like, pick somewhere else you want to go. And I was like, where's somewhere fun? At this point in time, Cisco had just had the thong song, right?
Okay.
And Jay-Z had just did the Big Pimpin' video, which I thought was in Miami, but was actually Trinidad. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what about Miami? This is going to show how old I am. So my coach had this little almanac that had all the schools, numbers, and all that stuff.
Okay.
So we get to it. I open it up. We call the University of Miami. Miss Myrna, she's the older woman upstairs with the white hair. She probably still here. She's in and out. Anyway, she answers the phone. I'm hot shit. It's DJ Williams. I want to come take a trip. She's like, what's your name? I said, it's DJ Williams. I want to take a trip. She said, okay, give me your number. She wrote it down. She hung up. I'm sitting in the office with my coach. And he's like, what happened? I said, she took my number down. Right? I'm feeling like slided, like, oh, she does not know who I am.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, 5 minutes later, the phone rang, and I spoke to every coach and his staff, and it ended up being my first trip. So, just the fact that I got here was just by choice. It's just very ironic because the University of Miami did not recruit me.
Really?
That's crazy.
That is great. #1 recruiting in the country. They're at the time actually they weren't on that level were they?
They were actually they were just coming off of probation. Was the year that I got
here.
But I got recruited by Florida State too, and Bobby Bowden basically said, we don't go after the top California kids because we don't believe that we can take them from SC.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because SC was SC. That's when that was the school in Cal. You go in California, you a big time recruit. You going to SC. You know what I mean? So that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I want to know when so Miami didn't recruit you. Like, so what made you just want to call them and decide to come out here and take a trip?
Again, I challenged myself.
Okay.
I could have stayed home, been a hometown kid, could have had billboards and got into a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to challenge myself. I remember it like it's yesterday. Like I said, when you're young, the reasons you make decisions aren't always the smartest.
Yeah.
I always wanted to play for a team with a white helmet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, that Cisco, that Jay-Z, that thought that, hey, I'm 17, I'm watching them, moonwalk across the sand on some ladies' butts. Mm-hmm. And then I'm watching, I can't even remember if it was Florida State, or if it was Florida, but I'm watching one of the games, and right before the game, somebody spits on somebody's helmet. And it just turned into a dog fight. And I'm sitting at home, I'm young, I'm impressionable, and I'm like, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be.
You want to be in one
I
of those games?
I want to be that type of energy.
Yeah.
All right, so when you get to Miami, how different was the West Coast and down here down south?
Culture shock.
For sure.
Really?
So when I got here, I didn't understand anything that anybody said.
Shit, I still don't.
They didn't understand what I said.
Yeah.
They had never heard the word hella. And so they would walk up to me randomly and be like, hey, say it again.
Say it again.
And I'd be like, hella. And they just, fall out laughing in circles. But yeah, like, when I got home, my boys was like, yo, what's it like? And I told them, I said, it's like prison. They said, what do you mean? I said, there's a lot of big, scary, angry guys in the locker room. I said, they yelling, it's fights for no reason. If you in the wrong section, you getting in a fight, you getting choked out. I said, for no reason at all, everybody just start beating on the walls and singing this song, and then they just choose two guys like Spartans, and they put you in the center of the U, and you gotta fight for your life.
Under the U. That's still a thing, yeah.
You gotta fight for the U. And I told her, I said, it became a situation to where it's like get down or lay down. Like you had to be a part of that if you wanted to be on this team. But, in the beginning, I thought a lot of guys didn't like me. Mm-hmm. But it was a rite of passage, because they had dubbed me being from California, being soft. Listen, I'll never forget it. Our receiving coach, Curtis Johnson, we call him CJ. Every day he called me a bitch.
Really?
Every day. You soft. You want to go home, don't you?
Damn.
In my ear, you know how hard camp is.
Hell yeah.
We all want to go home.
We about to start.
We all want to go home. Man. Every day. Hey, you soft, bro. You soft, bro. You don't belong here. Bro, what you doing? Bro, your mom probably cooking something nice right now, bro. You can beat your mama right now, bro. Every day in my ear.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nah, that's the dog days though. That's why they won so big back then.
Mm-hmm. You came to the University of Miami. You were the #1 recruit. You had your senior year. You had 2,000 yards rushing, 42 touchdowns. But you also,
that's what they say. Don't believe it.
Nah.
Really?
Oh, hold on. And my shoulder pads was off at halftime, third quarter most games.
You didn't play the whole game.
Yeah, that was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then you also had like about 130 tackles that senior year too.
That's crazy.
When you came to the University of Miami, what did you want to play? Because I know your first year you ended up playing fullback.
So, I never was a defensive player. I always wanted to play offense. That's where my heart was. That's what my father and my uncles played. That's what they were great at. My father and two of my uncles, they all had full ride scholarships, but blew their knees out. A few went and played baseball up the road. You know how that story goes. Mm-hmm. And I always wanted to run the ball. I love running the ball. You're in control when you got the ball, right? The whole game goes and it flows with you. But I got talked into it by everybody else. You're big, you're strong, you're fast. You can probably go and be a good running back, or you can be one of the greatest linebackers ever. And, I regret it, but I decided to go ahead and go play linebacker. So I get here, I'm competing for a starting position as a freshman. I'm going against Howard Clark. He was a junior from Jersey. And at the time, I ended up spraining my ankle, so I missed about a week or so. And I ended up getting beat out. He probably would have beat me out regardless, just because he was a little bit more knowledgeable. Mm-hmm. It probably would have been one of those situations where around week 4 I would have started. Yeah. But our starting fullback was having some issues. You guys can go look this up. Look up when Penn State played University of Miami. They put LeVar Arrington at the R5, and he ran down full speed and smashed our fullback. I think his name was Will McFarland. Ran through him.
Really?
Knocked his equilibrium off.
Damn.
Yeah. So the guy couldn't run faster than a jog without throwing up. He ended up having to retire.
Yeah.
And now we have a void. We have a void in the fullback position. I'm healthy now. I played running back in high school. Mind you, I'm 245.
Yeah.
Because I was the number one player in the country, I know the coaching staff is like, we have to get this kid on the field somewhere. We can't bring a number one from out of state. He don't touch the field. We'll never get another one again. Butch Davis brought me up to his office and was like, hey, how would you like to play fullback? My eyes lit up. They started throwing in a bunch of different ways they were going to get me the ball, and sometimes they would move me back to tailback, a bunch of wheel routes and Texas routes, and I ate it up, and I went ahead and accepted the offer.
Yeah, that's awesome. But so after that first year, that was the 2000 year, right?
Yes.
What was the final game? Was that the year y'all didn't make it to the national championship? Or
We got screwed by the BCS computer.
Oh, this was when y'all went and played Florida, correct?
Yes, that's when we went and played Florida, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So y'all beat the number one team and the number two team in the country, and they didn't allow y'all that. Yeah, that's.
And here's what's crazy about it. The reason we didn't was because back then the computer had like an algorithm. So they decided how much you should beat a team by. So we played Louisiana Tech. They had a quarterback, Tim Rattay, the Rattay brothers. I ain't gonna lie. He lit our ass up.
Yeah.
It was a night game. The game was 4.5, 5 hours. He threw for about 500 yards.
Damn.
They lit our ass up. We win 42-35 or something like that. The computer thought we should have won by a lot more. Yeah. So they didn't credit us all the amount of points as a win. And then Florida State beat whoever they were supposed to beat by the amount the computer thought they should have. And then that's how we got leapfrogged.
Wow. So Florida State won the championship that year?
Yeah.
Who was the quarterback that year? Was Charlie Ward or no?
They played Oklahoma.
Yeah, I believe. No. It was Krenzel.
Okay. They ended up playing Oklahoma.
Yeah. It was a garbage game, like 10-9 or something like that.
Yeah. But the consolation game playing Florida, I heard about a little bourbon brawl or something.
Yeah, so I can only tell you, third person, because I'm gonna be honest. We was all out on Bourbon Street. Guys like to talk a lot of trash. Our Blades is usually in the midst of it all. Yeah. We had a little chant that we used to do to let cats know it's about to get rowdy. Yeah.
Ooh. We do that.
Right, yeah.
We
okay.
In the locker room. Hey, before under the U cups.
It can mean we about to scrap, or it can mean we excited and we having fun too. So you gotta listen to the tonality of the whoop.
Yeah.
Whole size behind it.
But anyway, so what happened was in New Orleans they had these strip clubs, and they was real unique. It was male and female, and the Gator guys, they walked in on the female side. On the male side. So once they realized, like, oh, we on the wrong side, then they came over with us. So then we started making jokes about it. Yeah. And things escalated. A couple guys got into a little pushing match. So that's when I exited. The police came. I'm a freshman. I took off. I ran back.
You smart.
Smart. Yeah. But now I can tell you what happened after that. So what happened after that was a handful of guys stayed back. Mm-hmm. And it was a crazy brawl. It was a brawl like no other brawl. I just remember in the morning, Coach CJ walking up to Marquise Fitzgerald saying, "God damn, boy, did you win?" Keith had a little, his eye was a little afflicted, but Keith ran into a pole. Nobody caught him. All of our coaches knew about it. They loved it. They didn't trip off of it. And funny thing about that was later on that day, we all had to get together again at a basketball game.
Yeah, bowl games.
And Clinton Portis, I guess, grew up with Alex Brown, who was one of their defensive ends. And he said AB had probably got the worst of it all. And so CP made Alex B turn around. He turned around, that whole eye was shut, man. That eye was shut. So at the end of the day, we won on and off the field.
Yeah, no, I heard a bunch of stories like Will Ford throwing guys, got two guys by himself.
Yeah, so they said Big Vince, we did get to eating people. Like, they said he was out there like Kong. The funniest part that I heard though was Vernon Carey. He was offensive guard, 6'5", 365, pure muscle. Somebody said he was chasing somebody and lost his balance. Somebody kicked him in his ass. and they said it took him 30 seconds to fall.
6'5", 365.
Big boy just slowly going down. That's crazy. Oh, that's hilarious. But y'all ended up, the beatdown continued.
On the field.
Yep, on the field.
Yeah, so we had the mindset and the intensity that, because we felt we should have been in the national championship game. We felt we deserved to play in that game. So we went out there and did what we had to do, because somebody had told us that there was a scenario where if Florida State would have won the game, then we would have been co-champions. But obviously Florida State didn't win. I believe we won like 35-17 or some shit like that. But we proved that, we were one of the top teams. We were the top team in the country.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So following that season, after you played fullback that, one season, the next year you end up going to linebacker, correct?
Look, fullback is linebacker with no arms, man.
It's just straight shoulders.
It's straight face.
Yeah. Sure.
It is.
Putting your face in something.
Back then when you could hit people with your face, it was straight face.
Straight face.
And usually when you get the ball as a fullback, you're like the third, fourth option. You're the check down, and by then everybody got their eyes on you, and it ain't like you going anywhere.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and made an executive decision and went over and switched back over to linebacker. It's probably the best decision that I ever made.
Shit worked out. I'll tell you that.
It worked.
100%.
It worked, man.
That year, that's the 01 year, greatest team ever.
Greatest team of all time.
Greatest team. No more debate.
Yeah, no debate.
GTE.
Greatest team ever.
Sure.
How was that season?
I played out here 1 year. I can't imagine being on that team and like how lit y'all was every week. You know what I'm saying? Like just knowing y'all just gonna beat the brakes off people. Like just
it all started at the end of that Florida game, right? We was like, you know what? First of all, Reed was like, I'm coming back. We finna run this back.
First round pick. Could have been first round pick.
Yeah, he was our team captain. I'm coming back. We finna run this back. And it started right after that game, from the summer workouts, the guys challenged each other. I believe almost 100% of the team made 100% of the workouts. Guys put football as a priority. And I know you go to college, it's supposed to be the other way around. But for us, we were determined to come back and win a national championship. And it started every day, from the locker room to the field to where we were. We competed, and that was the greatest thing about it. Our coaches loved us to compete, and it got hot sometimes to where our coaches got into it. Every day at practice, there was almost a situation where somebody was going to fight.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, so that 01 season, when did they come up to you and say, "Hey, we want you to switch"?
Oh no, I went upstairs.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I went upstairs.
Wait, was it? So what I'm saying, was it before the coaching change? Because Butch Davis left to the Browns. Was it before the coaching change or afterwards?
It had to be after, because that Butch Davis day, like remember the commercials, "Life Come At You Fast."
Mm-hmm.
We had, and we don't fault Butch. We love Butch, and we get it. We understand at the end of the day it's a business decision. But we had just won the Sugar Bowl. Butch had just sat down and told us, "I love you guys. I ain't going nowhere. We're going to run this back. We're going to come again." We get back to Miami a few days later. We all get that message, "Hey, team meeting in the locker room." We get in there. As soon as we walk in, Butch had got on a suit. You already know what's happening. Yeah. But he got on the goddamn suit, and it's like, damn. But again, the way he broke it down to us, though, made us fully understand. He was like, "Hey, guys, look, I know I recruited some of you, and I know I just recently brought some of you guys here. And, I sat in your mom's kitchen, and I told her I was going to take care of you and this and that." And he's like, "Just like you guys got dreams and aspirations to go pro," he's like, "I do too." He says, "I have a perfect opportunity to go ahead and try to make this in the pro leagues, and I know what I said, and I hope you guys don't look at me any differently, but I still love you, and I wish you guys the best." Yeah. And he walked out. I feel like right straight from there to the limo to the jet, gone.
Man, I had a similar situation when I was in Houston. Same thing, Coach Herman. He said, "I wasn't. I'm not going nowhere." You know what I'm saying? I mean, Coach Herman's a good dude. We still have a good relationship, but Went to the bowl game, came back the next day. Yeah, UT.
That money talk.
Yeah, I mean,
but they did.
Nobody blamed them.
Well, I know Houston tried to up their offer and try to match.
Yeah.
So how was that? So did Ed Reed say he's coming back when Butch Davis to the coach, or after he left?
Nah,
he already knew.
I don't remember the exact time.
Yeah.
But it was just the energy. We all knew that we wanted to run this back.
Yeah. That's what's up.
Yeah. So going into that off season, what was y'all's mindset like? With the new coach, I heard, that he was just kind of y'all chaperone. Y'all called him.
Mm-hmm. So Coach Cope, the greatest thing is there was a lot of chitter chatter about all these other different coaches. Barry Alvarez, a lot of guys that didn't understand. And you have to understand Miami to coach in Miami. You have to understand Miami to play in Miami.
Yeah.
And we didn't want them bringing somebody from the outside because what we had was working. It wasn't broke. We don't need to fix it. So they decided to hire internally. And to be honest, Coach Coker was our offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the brains behind a lot of the operation. Complete opposite of Butch Davis. Butch Davis could be on the other side of the field. He's wearing some old light shorts and shit.
Yeah.
His gray underwear hang lower.
Yeah.
He's screaming. He could see something from the other side of the field. Get your ass down. You're supposed to be in the flat. That wasn't Coach Coker's way. Coach Coker would pull you to the side, speak to you kind of nice, private, and quiet. But the thing about Coach Coker was we respected him.
Yeah.
Right? We respected him. And so we knew that he was going to give us the longest leash possible. But we did not want to embarrass him. We didn't want to fuck anything up for him, right? So it's just like with your parents, right? Your parents let you do a lot of things, but at the end of the day, you still love and respect your parents.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want any of the things that you do on the outside to come back and affect them. And so we got Coach Coker, and really, it was already on auto drive.
Yeah.
It was already on auto drive. Guys didn't have to do a lot. Coach Coker was like the president. When it's time to make a big time decision, throw out the challenge flag, that's when you bring Coach Coker in. But besides that, our whole coaching staff was so great. And Coach Coker delegated very well. Coach Coker chose the correct leaders. And then, like I said, he made us love and respect him. And so that's how he kept us in line instead of having a big stick.
Yeah.
It was the love and the respect with the man.
And the greatest head coaches, they hire the best assistants.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's the key.
Yep. So in that 0-1 championship game, I read something that was one of your finest games that you ended up having, a few tackles, a forced fumble, and a sack.
Yeah. Going into that game, there was a lot of chitter chatter just about how somehow we basically have ran the table over the last 2 years, and we're still the underdogs, right? We don't even know why we're wearing all white. Like we're the guests. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I don't know. But we took everything offensive. I remember we went on the Jay Leno show, and they had their biggest guy come down. They had some Tonkin or Samoan cat, bro, 6'7", 430 pounds. And Big Vern was like our biggest guy. And just from that, they made comments like mom and pop shop versus a super Walmart and things like that. So we all went out there with a chip on our shoulders, considering what we did, how we ran the table the previous year, what we did to teams this year, and now you're still talking down on us. And so for games, we always had internal bets. Like I tell people all the time, if you go back and look at the film, you'll see me and Vilma racing to the ball, and one of us pushed the other guy. Like we had internal bets, man. Yeah.
That's good.
Now, so after that, going into the 0-2 season, y'all just trying to repeat. Y'all have a great season, beating everybody by whatever y'all want. You get to that 0-2 national championship game, the most controversial call in college football.
Facts.
I say this all the time. Ohio State deserved to win that game because we should have beat their ass by 40 points. The fact that they were even close enough in that game for whatever happened at the end happened, I say they deserve that game. I did some broadcasting work with Bobby Carpenter. I forgot what network he's on now, but he was one of Ohio State's linebackers. And this was, after the game, years. And he said he just remembers watching the film of our defense and his offense asking questions like, how are we going to block these guys? How are we going to stop these guys? They came out with a great game plan. A great game plan. For anybody that knows football, here's what they did. It'd be third down, we would go to our spinner package, right? Our spinner package, what we do is we pull one of our defensive ends up, have 3 front down linemen, and then we'd have that spinner defensive end taking care of everything shallow. As soon as we did that, they would check and run power I with the ball. But listen, they would check, run power I with the quarterback keeping it. So now they have an extra blocker. And so now we have a defensive end standing up playing inside linebacker who already don't know what to do. And then on top of that, there's an extra guy that we don't have. Because usually the guy that's getting the ball from the quarterback, that's who we would be tackling. But instead, now he's blocking. And if you watch that game, they did it 5 or 6 times, and all they did was keep drives going.
Yeah. Smart.
It's a smart game plan. So after that, you and a few guys, that was your junior season.
Yeah.
It should have been 3 championships in a row.
It should have been 3.
Yeah, 3 P.
3
P.
3, man.
Yeah.
You and collective other guys decide, hey, you know what, this is our last year, we're going to the league. What was that decision like?
Well, for me, I had to go. I had no more eligibility, but I just tell people, in a few minutes, you and your best friends and the guys that you grew up with are all millionaires. Just sitting there looking at each other with the bag, like, this shit really happened. You think, what we gonna do, right? Like, this shit really happened, right? Excitement between you, your friends, your family, your peers. You just, again, all the hard work that you put in, it finally paid off. But again, now the journey starts again. Mm-hmm. But for me, I actually threw my watch party at the Heck Center.
Really?
I had my mom, my friends there. It was crazy. So the who was it? The Jets. Herm Edwards brought all 3 of our linebackers to the Jets. Set us down. Me, Darryl McClover, and Vilma. He says, I'm taking 2 of the 3 of y'all. I don't know which 2 yet. Yeah. Obviously, he was going to take McClover because McClover's going later rounds, and then it was me or Vilma. Just got picked number 12. Boom, they picked Vilma. So now I know I'm not going there. From there, I'm sitting there with my agent, and he's on the phone, and he has a call from New Orleans. New Orleans got the 18th pick. They call my agent to say, with the 18th pick, after these next few guys, we're going to take them. My cousin, Dante Stallworth, plays for New Orleans. I done called him on the phone. My family, we got beads on. We living it up. We talking. We celebrating. But it's still 4 or 5 picks left. Denver had the 24th pick. Denver trades up from 24 to 17. Right? I'm on the phone with one of the coaches from New Orleans. My agent come out. It's like, D, you got to take this call. And I'm like, I got to take it? He like, yeah. I grab the phone, and it really is that, like you see on TV, how would you like to be a Denver Bronco? Yeah. Right? Yeah. I look at my agent, I say, hey, I got to say yeah. I gotta say yeah. My agent, you the first pick, you the quarterback. You can tell him, go kiss your ass. He was like, yeah, you gotta say yeah. I just had to get off the phone with New Orleans, and then I had to just go ahead and say yeah. If you look at any of my draft pictures, I'm holding the jersey. I'm looking sad.
You wanted to go to New Orleans?
I wanted to go to New Orleans. Yeah. Denver had Mobley, Ian Gold, and Al Wilson at the time. I didn't know that John Mobley sprained his neck, retired. I didn't know that Ian Gold tore his ACL. I'm like, y'all drafted me to go play special teams. Like, what's good? And then I talked to I called Portis. I said, Portis, what's it like out there? It's shitty. He said, you like snow? And so when I got drafted, which was in April, I'm driving from the airport in April and it's snowing. And I'm sitting there like, no, this can't be life. Like, if you look at my pictures when I got drafted, I'm holding it. I'm sad.
So, right now we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna introduce one of our newest sponsors. We like to take this time out and thank our sponsor, Ibis Prep. They do one-on-one tutoring for everything under the sun. And when they say everything under the sun, they mean it. Their mission is to prioritize education above all else.
They tutor grades from K through 12 and college level, all subjects and all languages. SAT prep, ACT prep, essay writing, and college prep.
They do security exams, SIE, Series 6, Series 7, Series 66. They also do LSAT, GMAT, GRE, Florida, and California bar exams.
Education is very important to the King of Ragone show. If you need any kind of tutoring in any subject, please reach out and research Obvious Prep.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, so I just want to go into, go from Miami to Denver. How was the transition in Denver? How did you like Denver?
Originally, I went in there not wanting to go. I knew nothing about Colorado. I didn't know about the altitude. I didn't know about the weather, the snow, the culture, the people. But they welcomed me. And I had some great teammates. And honestly, my rookie year, I had a lot of fun. So here's what I found out. I found out that Denver had 4 universities within 30 to 40 miles of downtown Denver.
Really?
Yeah. So now I'm 21.
Yeah.
Got nearly a 2 in my pocket.
Yeah.
And every weekend, all the ladies from Air Force come down.
Mm-hmm.
All the ladies from CU come down.
Yeah.
From Colorado State come down. Denver University come down. I said, hey, this isn't that bad. It ain't that bad.
You got to change your
Okay. Yeah, so it wasn't that bad, man. But again, and also, you have to grow up. It's a job, right? It's time to be responsible. It's a job now. You don't always get to choose where you want to go or where you want to be. And I went in there with the mindset of I'm gonna make the best of it, but it ended up being the best for me.
That's great. What was it like, football-wise, from college to NFL?
I would say the biggest difference is the speed of the game, but it's not the speed of the individual. It's not the strength of the individual. Speed, strength, size, all that. It's not the speed, strength, or the size of the individual. Because I played in college against guys that were much faster, but it's the timing and it's the precision. Whereas in the league, in college, the quarterback gets to his back step, the wide receiver is just now about to make the break, ball's thrown. When you get to the league, that receiver, the quarterback is at his back step, he's throwing the ball, the receiver hasn't even made his break yet. And little nuances like that, when the offensive lineman, when they're running a stretch play or a trap, and literally all 5 guys step at the same time in sync and draw back and do those type of different things, it makes you feel like the game is faster. Collectively, they are faster. They're more in sync, so the margin of error is a lot less in college football.
It's like all the small details that you hear about when guys come back talk about, man, this is like how it is. Like, because they focus on all the small details. All you do is ball all day. There's no school, there's no, they go to class. It's none of that. Just ball all day.
Wow. Bro, and then to learn and study and be in a room with guys and coaches that, like I've been in a room with coaches that were coached by Bear Bryant, right? We're talking about 30s and 40s, right? Just imagine the knowledge that they have and they pass it down. You're learning about white knuckling. You're learning about guys' breathing patterns. You're learning about looking at the fullback's eyes, watching his eyes, and all these different things. One year, Roman Pfeiffer was my linebacker coach, right? 15 years, won multiple champions with the New England Patriots. And he just came and told me, say, when the fullback gets in the stance, watch his eyes. He said the bad ones, they're going to just look and tell you where they're going. Mm-hmm. He said the good ones, they're going to try to look off and then go back. He says the real great ones are going to look away, and then look again. And it was just little things like that, little nuggets like that I was able to take on the field and transition to the field that made me that better of a player.
Your rookie season, you ended up, I think it was number 2, number 3, one of those behind
2 or 3,
behind Jonathan Vilma.
We've always been competitive, man. And I'll never be upset losing to him. He's a great player. He's a great man. But I did want it, and I think my stats were a little better. And I think the difference between him and I was he played in New York.
Yeah.
He played for a big market, right? He played in New York. He played for a big market, but he crushed it too. I believe our stats were like almost in line, damn near identical. But my rookie year, they threw me to the fire. I remember the first game I played as a rookie. It was a night game versus Kansas City, and my job was anytime Priest Holmes got out of the backfield, I was supposed to lock him up one-on-one. And asked, "Hey rookie, how you doing?" And I did. I balled out. I think I had like 14 tackles my rookie year. And that game set my confidence, took it to another level. And then the fact that I saw in my teammates' eyes that they knew that they could rely on me. Because I ain't gonna lie, when you in camp and you learning stuff that's going a million miles an hour and you making mistakes, it's a lot different. It's grown ass men that got mortgages. Right? So like when it's weird getting yelled at by a grown ass man, and at the same time he may give you that energy like, "I'll beat your ass." Like it's a lot of pressure on you, right? Mm-hmm. And so to gain the trust of my teammates, for me after my first game, that was one of the best things that I accomplished.
That's big. I can only imagine. You're 21 years old, going there and playing with, like you said, 35, 34, 33-year-olds has been playing for the longest time, and then you got to go in there and prove yourself. You have a big rookie year, though.
But imagine you as a quarterback, too. When you get in there, you break the huddle. Man. Bro, you're going to have 10 guys looking at you like, where we going? Yeah. Right? And some of these dudes, 37 years old. Some of these dudes got kids as teenagers. And they looking at you, where we going? Where you taking us? It's a huge step. It's a huge jump. And to be honest, the only way to mentally get prepared for it is to be out there and do it.
Yeah. So following up that year, you switched positions a lot in your career. Man. You played in the league for 11 years. You were telling me about 9 different head coaches or something like that, 11 different.
So in my 11 years, I had 9 different D coordinators, 10 linebacker coach. I had 9 different D coordinators, 10 linebacker coaches. I played 7 different positions. I didn't even know some of these linebacker positions existed. I've never heard of a jack linebacker my whole life. Yeah. One year I'm playing jack. Yeah. But I never played the same position for the same coach in the same system in my 11 years.
Imagine you could have. How good you been crazy.
I did that, bro. Yeah. I played next to a guy. I played next to Lance Briggs, who went to Arizona, went to Chicago Bears, played in that Chicago Bears 3-4 defense. They played cover 2. They're like the inventors of the old school cover 2. And to watch him play cover 2 and to watch him teach it to the younger guys, and for me to sit there and say, that shit is impossible. I'll go into a little detail. If you're a football person, you'll understand it or not, but if not, so his job at playing cover, even if you're not a football player, like just imagine someone saying this to you while you're on the field and things are happening in 1 or 2 seconds. So he says, you're going to line up 3 yards off the ball. The snap of the ball, you're going to pat at your feet. You're going to look at the quarterback. You got to read through the 3-step. No 3-step. You take a look to your left to see the release of the receiver. The receiver goes outside. That lets you know to flow towards the numbers. Receiver takes an inside release. That lets you know to go flow straight back. Then you look back at the quarterback again. If you do not feel the receiver on the left side of your body, you can look over your right shoulder and see him. If he's not at your right shoulder, that means he knows what coverage you're in. He's set down. Turn around and sprint to left. And I'm sitting there thinking like, there's no goddamn way you can do this in a play. Like in real life. We go out there, stand up, pat, look, squeak that, and I'm talking about he did it correctly every time. And I'm like, damn, that's what it's like to have a position, know what you're doing, and get the reps year in and year after doing it.
We were just talking yesterday, I think, about it. We started Camp Friday, and he was like, man, it's good getting back into like football things, like actually like knowing what to do and how they can build so much confidence, right? So like if you're already a good player, but if you know everything that's about to happen, you know everything you're supposed to do, it can make you like that much better. And that's what we're trying to get, like, I know for me, like people like on the opposite side of the ball, like not just to learn like what you gotta do, like learn the whole concept, right? So you know
the whys.
Exactly, the whys and how she like work together.
And that's a big thing for me, Coach Packey, he was joking around today, actually, where, we were in meetings. He said to Corey Flagg, he was like, I got Ragone right next to me trying to know the whole defense and why we run every single thing, which, that's just that's what I learned. If I know why we're doing something, I know exactly where I need to be on every single play. I want to know what the safety's doing. I want to know why he's going to, downhill. We got the corner playing safety now. Yeah. Like, why are we doing each and everything? Because that's going to make me a better player and put me in a better position to do what I need to do.
I mean, it's that, and it also lets you know where the ball's going, right? Process of elimination.
Exactly. We know, all right, this field flat is going to be open at, it's not going to be the first look, obviously. It's going to be their last look, so around 4 seconds. There's a time in the quarterback's head, but there's also one in ours. Yeah. There's also one in ours. So if you're playing on that side of the ball, hey, once it's, the countdown in your head, you're like, all right, I'm breaking.
And at the same time, they're telling the D line, right? Because if he's able to sit back there and pat, and get it back to that fourth read, and you're not there, that's not on you. That's on the D line. He shouldn't be able to sit back there that long and pack the ball.
Exactly. I mean, that's just some of the things that I love. I love football because of that. The little things in defense. I love concepts.
You want to talk about details on why the Patriots were so great, bro. They take watching film to a whole nother level. It's like they psychoanalyze players. It's almost like they would watch film on you, and for some reason, by every game, the 7th play is when he messes up. Why? Then they're gonna go figure out why, right? They'll go. So, Josh McDaniels was the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. Great coach. I've never been more prepared for a football game in my life than being with him. He came to Denver, became our head coach. We're playing the Patriots week 6 or week 7. We end up beating New England. The reason we beat New England is because Josh McDaniels gave us a nugget that he studied Tom Brady 7 years prior. Like, these coaches, they keep almanacs. Yeah. So here's what happened. It was like a 4th and 1 or 4th and goal. Brady was parallel feet under center, and it was a run. Center snapped the ball to him. Center stepped on his foot. He fumbled the ball at the 1-yard line, turnover. Wow. From that moment on, Brady decided to stagger his feet a little bit on runs. McDaniels wrote that shit down. Man. 7 years later, I might not be here. So we're going to play the Patriots. On Wednesday, we sat down and we watched hour-long tape of Tom Brady's feet, run past Bird Rabbit. Yeah. And the crazy thing was, it was Bird Rabbit, but then depending on what foot was back was which way the ball was going. Yeah. So I'm sitting here at the mic. After watching this hour tape, he's like, you believe me? He's like, all right, take it to the field. We practice it. We get in the game. Tom Brady come out parallel feet. Bird. Tom Brady come out stagger foot. Rabbit right at the last second. I shift the whole D-line there. Yeah. Rabbit left, the whole. And again, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Like, we literally won that game from a note that he took 7 years prior on Tom Brady. And the next time we played it, Brady's feet was parallel the whole time. That's that self-scout. That's self-scout. Yeah, that's self-scout.
That's crazy. No, that is absolutely insane. And things like that is why I love the game. There's just so many little things that you could pick apart to give yourself an advantage. You may not be the fastest, you may not be the strongest, but if you could find that edge to get you a little better, I mean, it puts you on the same level, if not better position than everybody else on the field.
Absolutely. So you played Denver, then you say you played for Chicago.
Yes.
Correct. How was your time in Chicago?
Oh, man. It was some dark years, man. Yeah. Oh, listen. If we would have been winning, it probably would have been the best time of my life, because Chicago fans are some of the best fans in sports. Yeah. Like, genuine. Like, hey, DJ, come have a beer with me. You have those fans that want to come up, sit down, talk, overextend and welcome, ask you, hey, man, do you remember when? I always want to say, God, yeah, I fucking remember. Hey, did you... Yeah. You see me here with my lady, you see me here with my family, but you can't say that. Yeah. Chicago fans, come up, hey, what's up, man? Get you a beer. Hey, you kick ass, man. I just want to tell you, you rock, and walk off. Yeah. And keep it moving, right? Like, I remember one of the Denver fans, because this is when I was changing positions or whatever, and it was all in the paper. And I went out. I had a little drink. I'm hanging out. And they was like, "You should be at home studying your playbook." Mm-hmm. I'm like, bro, like, I'm a grown ass man. Like, when you leave your job, do you go work? Right? Yeah. Don't you have time to relax? Chicago, totally different. Hey, bro, I get it. I'm gonna come have a beer with you next time. But we was garbage. I'm out there. Look, my first year, Chicago's known for defense. They're the monsters of the Midway. Yeah. They're known for having the best defense. Mike Singletary's, Dick Buckets, those type of guys. My first year, we were the worst defense in Chicago Bear history. My name is on that. My second year, we were the second worst defense in Chicago Bear history. Yeah. Mind you, we lost 7 starters one year, and they were literally bringing guys off the couch. Like literally bringing guys off the couch. Like, I remember I had a D tackle in front of me. He probably was like 6'2", like 265.
Damn. Playing in the league. Yeah. Nah. So, who was y'all's defensive coordinator at that time?
When I was in Chicago?
Yeah.
Oh, I love him. Mel Tucker. Mel Tucker, head coach now at Michigan State. Listen. Great guy, man. He used to always say, his philosophy was, this is a meat and potato outfit. We don't do French pastry. We don't do that French pastry shit. We're going to take this ball, we're going to run it down your throat. And then after you get full of that, we'll give you some French pastry. I love it, man.
We might have to meet up later in the year, about 2 weeks in. We play them week 3. We might have to, week 4. Yeah. We might have to meet up with you and talk a little more about that. But what made you decide, all right, it's time for me to...
Your body. Yeah. Man, your body will start talking to you. So when I went to negotiate my second deal, I didn't have any Pro Bowls. I didn't have any awards. I had stats, but I never had any of the awards or any of the Pro Bowls, that a lot of other guys go. And I ended up doing my second contract off of Lance Briggs because that's who they compared me to. And when they looked, they said, look, our guy's numbers is the same as his. And then on top of that, this has been his first 5 years. He's missed 3 plays. Yeah. Right? So in my first 9 years, I missed 5 games. My last 2 years, I missed, let me do my math, 10, I missed 16. Damn. My body told me, right? I'm doing warm-up, just drumming over bags. I thought somebody threw a football, hit me in the back of my calf. I'm talking about warming up, just linebacker back drills, easy pace, Cadillac. I turned, look, I pulled my calf, right? My body started to tell me. I started to get injured a lot more. So my body was telling me, but really with football, it's mental. It's a young man's game, bro. Yeah. Listen, it's a young man's game. You'll lose that edge where you just want to wake up and alpha somebody. You just want to show a man that you better than him. You just want to reduce another man. I remember, quick story, my rookie year in the league, I'm on kickoff. I don't know if you guys know, but there was a situation where New Orleans had a kickoff return. They called him Beer Man. He literally was delivering beer. New Orleans lost their punt returners. They had an open count. This guy came, ran 4-2, Beer Man. They brought him in. He started playing. So they had him doing kickoff and kickoff returns or whatever. I was on the kickoff return team. My job was to chip 5, peel around, and go hunt down number 1. Number 1 was Beer Man, I believe. I chipped 5. I was hunt down number 1. Bro, he 5'9", 165. I'm 6'2", 245. I'm running full speed, praying for 30 yards, praying that he turns around. At the last moment he turned around, I ran through him. We ain't seen Beer Man since. I get up like, yeah, motherfucker. Yeah. That's because I was just young and devilish and just wanted to run through cats. Yeah. Fast forward, my 11th year, playing against Green Bay. Their running back breaks out the field. He's 20, 30 yards down the field. I'm running, not because I can catch him, but you got to be running because you don't tape. Yeah, you tape. Yeah. Mind you, as I started to get close to him, the whole time I didn't know. Somebody was hunting me down. Right? They had a tight end 6'5", 265. At the last minute, when I relaxed and I turned around, he ran through me. I got up and I said, "You don't do that." Right? That's what I said. "You don't do that." Yeah. And that's when I knew you don't belong out here, man. Yeah. Because this is what these boys do. Yeah. This is what this is about. Listen, I go to the doctor. Doctor asked me, was I in a car accident? I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "You have whiplash." He says, "All the superficial ligaments in your neck are all torn." Man. Damn. And again, you know what? I got a little money in my pocket. I got some kids. I went to the doctor. That's what he said. He said, "You make good money?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You took care of it?" "Yeah." He says, "I would retire." He says, "Because your neck is starting to calcify over." He says, "If you get hit the wrong way," he said, "life-altering, career-ending neck fusion." Yeah. Shut it down. Shut it down.
As you should.
Yeah, as you should. So, was it after that you decided, one, were you okay with that? Like, you didn't have the passion to play anymore. You didn't have it in you, like, you know what, damn, I still got that itch that it hasn't been filled.
I didn't have it in me to do what was needed to perform the right way on Sunday. I could play games. Yeah. Right? I still want to look nice in my uniform. But in March, did I want to get up and run? No, I didn't. And once I realized I no longer had that, like I wasn't willing to put in the work to be out there, like I shut it down. It's like having a beautiful woman and you know you can't be faithful, but you want to be with her, right? Mm-hmm. It's like I love her, but you know you're a dog, you're a dirtbag. So why go mess her life up again? Why go? You know what I mean? And I had to be honest with myself because my father asked me that question. My father asked me, he's like, "You miss it?" And I said, "Yeah, I miss it." He said, "Well, go back and get it." I said, "I'm not willing to do what it takes."
Yeah. Man, I know that's kind of hard. You know what I mean?
It happens, bro. Listen, you either leave too early or too late. Yeah. There's a handful of guys that left. Look, Michael Jordan played for the Wizards. Yeah. Like, think about that. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. Michael Jordan, the game doesn't love you. The game doesn't owe you shit. Michael Jordan played for the Wizards. Right? Peyton Manning got benched and cut. Like, so when you hear guys gripe about, "Man, coach screwing me over this and that." No. That's the game. That's the way the game goes. Peyton Manning got benched and cut twice. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's probably going to go down as one of the greatest ever. Mm-hmm. The game don't owe you nothing. The game is heartless. And to be honest, I would say Ray Lewis is one of the guys that went out, but he was hobbling. Yeah. Like, if he didn't win that championship his last year, people would have been like, Ray should have left years ago.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So how was I know for a lot of people that play football forever and then they retire or they, it could be college and you just don't make it, right? You got to stop playing, find something else to do. So how was the transition from playing football into like the business world?
I mean, just life in general was tough. I grew up in the locker room. That's all like I knew, right? Like I tell people all the time, I say, I had no idea how to be an adult in regular society. And I give them this example. I say in the locker room, farts is funny. Like in the locker room, motherfucker fart, grown-ass men giggling and laughing. And I say in the real world, when you fart, you gotta say, "Excuse me." Motherfuckers looking at you. Yes, sir. You see what I'm saying? Like, this guy. So that's where I grew up, right? Like I remember I got my first job doing broadcasting, and all I know is TV because I know how we ate lunch together. Yeah. So I packed my little lunch. I go in the little lunchroom. Shit, I'm sitting in the lunchroom. I'm introducing myself to everybody. I'm trying to say hi. I'm thinking this shit about to be like The Office. Yeah. We're going to sit in there and snicker. Everybody came in, warmed their shit up, and went back to their desk and sat down. Yeah. And then I realized, like, the whole time what people don't understand is while I was practicing football, they were practicing on life. Yeah. And so now I'm at the disadvantage. Now I'm the rookie. Now I'm the one that doesn't know anything. Now I'm 30-some-odd years old, and I have no experience. And this person has been working cameras and doing whatever they have since they've been 14. Like, they are the pros now. But the competitive nature inside of most athletes, if you could focus in, you'll go ahead and make it. But you go in there and you understand that you're no longer the pro now, and life is a big difference.
And that's what I'm trying to tell people now about the whole NIL stuff, right? Because I say football, it's a blessing, right? You get free education most of the time. It teaches you a lot of life lessons. But at the same time, it can also handicap you.
Yeah.
Because you're so used to playing football, and then once you can't play football anymore, like you don't know what the hell to do.
You don't.
And like you just said, like you was 30-something years old, you had a great career, you got money, and you still got an ambition.
Bro, they asked me to make a resume.
Man, who has that?
And I'm like, my resume was taped.
Yeah.
Right? So then I said, I'm going to go ahead and make this resume. Everything on my resume had football in front of it or football at the back of it. Yeah. Like there was nothing on there. And I'm sitting there like, damn, it was a dumbass job. Like I started to look at myself like, damn, what did you do? Yeah. You know? But then one of my boys' sisters was like, no. Like, yeah, it was football, but you learned leadership and all. She started breaking it down. Yeah. And I was like, okay, I get it. But here's some advice that I have for young guys in college, guys that are going to make it to the league. In that off season, tell your agent to get you an internship, right? You got to understand, you're a pro football player now. You're a college football player now. These big businesses, especially for alumni, they love to have you guys around. It's 2 weeks, bro. In the league, you get 2.5, 3 months when the season ends to do nothing.
Sure, yeah.
Take 2-3 weeks, do an internship with a company every offseason. Here's what's going to happen. What's going to happen is year 1, you might do one. I didn't like it. It's just 3 weeks. Year 2, another one. I didn't like it. Year 3, I like this one. So now, if you had a career like mine, 4, you're back there. 5, you're back there. 6, you're back there. 7, you're back there. 2-3 weeks. What happens is at the end of your 10-year career, you have a little bit of knowledge, but you've built a relationship with this company. Yeah. And now when it's time to get a job, you know where you want to go. When I retired, because I did nothing but football, if you're in college or if you're in the league in the off season, man, go to one of these top countries in an industry that you enjoy, that you're interested in, and tell them you want to do an internship. They say there's nothing available. Say, I just want to hang around for a week or 2 and walk around. Because if you do that several times in the off season, you'll end up finding something you like. And then now you're coming back, building relationships, gaining knowledge so that when you do retire, you have a head start on what you want to do in life. Like when I retired, I put so much into football and didn't do anything else. I had no idea. And that's kind of how Dime Life actually came out. I was like, well, I like clothes. I like to shop a lot. Yeah. Right? And that's kind of like how Dime Life spent off. But again, I can only imagine where Dime Life would be right now if after year 4, I started learning about the clothing industry, right? No, I started Dime Life in 2011, and I didn't even really take it serious till about 2015. And so we're sitting here right now. I got like real 6 years of knowledge on it when I could be sitting here 10, 15 years in knowing the industry in and out.
Mm-hmm. No, that's what's up. And Dime Life has, it's become a big thing, down here, especially, I see anything Miami, usually it's Dime Life, all the chains, Dime Life, everything.
You know what? I'm extremely proud about it, and I found my passion. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it wasn't until one day I drove by somebody and this person had on a shirt of mine, and I got that feeling again, like I was in the arena again, like I had just made a big tackle. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is just a $30 shirt that this person bought. But because football came so easy, so second nature for me, I didn't appreciate a lot of the things that came with it. I didn't appreciate, like, I'm making tackles, but I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Like, I was born to do this. Like, this is what I do. Now, Dime Life is work for me. Dime Life, phone off, no music, no nothing. I got to sit down. I really got to focus because it was something new to me. It didn't come natural. So I put in a lot of time, energy, and effort. So for me to see somebody with that shirt, I was like, damn, this shit paid off. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy. Still to this day, like when I walk by and I see somebody that got like a shirt on, it reminds me of like all the work and the effort that I put in, right? Because there's so much that goes behind getting the shirt to a customer. Like so much that others don't even know. and to be honest, that's why if you see me, I'm only gonna have Dime Life on. Mm-hmm. Like I'll never buy hope Dior or whatever it y'all sponsors, no people like that. Because at the end of the day, bro, it's fabric. At the end of the day, the fabric, we have high price fabric, you have medium, you have low end. And when I say high price, medium, and low end, this might be 15 cents. That's the low end. The medium end might be 19 cents. And then the high end might be 25 cents. And you're sitting there between Dior and whatever. But the thing is yeah, it's just pennies, it's just cents. You're not trying to sell one shirt. So you're not looking at it like 5 cents. You're trying to sell a million of these. Right? So now, times a million times that 15 cents, and now we talking money. But at the end of the day, like when I started learning about fabric, you really are buying into the brand. You are buying the brand. Brand recognition is what you're buying into.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean, seeing you being successful after was something that you enjoy, something, you have passion for. I mean, that gives, guys like us, motivation to find things that we love to do, like truly love, and that's going to give us that same feeling, because you hear people all the time that get out of football and they're like, man, just nothing's giving me that feeling again from being on the field.
And it's not, bro. I'm not going to lie. When somebody tells me they're about to retire, I was on an airplane with Warren Sapp, flying back from California. He used to do the Sunday night or whatever football. We used to be on the red eye from Cali to Miami every time. And I told him I was thinking about retiring. He said, make him rip that helmet out your hand when you're in the grave. And I was like, I got my little money. I'm just whatever. Yeah. So I ended up retiring. I knew exactly what he talked about. Our time is consumed so much with football. We really don't understand how long the day is. So I remember when I retired and I got up and I did everything that I wanted to do, and I looked, it was 11 o'clock. I had nothing to do. Man. Like, damn, like no practice, nothing to be worried for, to prep for the next day. I really had nothing to do. And I realized, like, damn, like life without football sucks. Because I didn't have anything to segue into. I didn't have anything. Mm-hmm. All I had was football. So I'm going to work out again. What I'm going to do? Yeah. Right? Because I wasn't prepared. And that's why I say, like, while you're playing, you have to prepare, right? Just take that 2 weeks, take a month, take that time to go ahead, figure out what you like, figure out what you're interested in. That little cliche, do what you love and you never work a day, that shit is real. Mm-hmm. Yep. That shit is real, because like when I do Dime Life, I don't feel like I work. Me and my designer, we sit back. There's parts of Dime Life that I do not like. I ended up reading a book called Ready, Fire, Aim. Mm-hmm. And the book said, build your business up into a place that is successful enough that you can pay people to do the things that you no longer like doing and watch where your business goes. I used to do customer service for Dime Life, dog. Listen, I fired myself 10 times. Yeah. But I done messed up on cash orders, cyber, whatever. I messed up on 10 orders. I mean, you really messed up on 20. Yeah. What's going on with this? TJ was at a tailgate with me. He's my fucking friend. This is how you treat me. You giving me the wrong order.
And really, it's you the whole time.
So it's me. So listen, I'm typing back. Hello. I apologize. I'll forward this over to DJ Williams and he'll handle it. Then I get on my computer. I email him from my personal. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? This DJ Williams. I heard you had an issue with your order. First, I'd like to apologize. How can we fix this? And then the guy goes off ranting. I'm like, listen, that gentleman has been taken care of. Who works here. We just do not condone it. But I fired myself 10 times. Yeah. But what I realized, I was so passionate about my brand, I couldn't do customer service because somebody, this shirt sucks. I want to be like, fuck you. Yeah. What you mean? What you mean this shirt sucks? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I had to give that over to somebody. Yeah. So once I started doing that, man, my business shot up. And that's just my model. I'm trying to retire doing something, that's my model. Like with businesses and the businesses, like I try to retire like every 3 to 5 years. Start a project, be a part of something, start something, get it to where it's self-sufficient, it's running itself, so it gives me more time to go ahead and allocate my money somewhere else.
It's a great model.
It's a great model. It's something that, me, I'm sure you, something that we're probably, going to look into, obviously, when the time comes.
Small, too.
Yeah.
Like, with social media these days, everybody looking like they just popped out of nowhere. Bro, small. It takes time.
Yeah. So one thing, we started to do last episode, to end it, was one piece of advice you could tell someone who's watching, someone who's listening. It doesn't have to be about football. It can be about anything.
It can be about life. It can be about whatever you want to be about. Just
one piece of advice that you feel that every person should know.
I would say know who you are, right, as a person. Be able to look in the mirror, have those true, intimate conversations with yourself, and know who you are. I tell my daughters this all the time, and they're 7 and 8. I tell them, highlight your highlights and accept your lowlights, right? Like, because trying to hide them, people still don't see them, right? You got that pimple on your face, by turning your head away. Mom would know why you're turning your head away, right? Like, what you do best, make sure that shines, and you do that the best at all times. And then what you don't do best, work on it and accept it. And if it's something that you can't work on, maybe it's a look, it's physical or something like that, just accept it because that's who you are, right? Because trying to hide it, people gonna notice it. You burying it inside, that shit gonna come out in another way.
It's great advice.
That's really good advice.
I really appreciate you coming on. Like, it's big. Like, we want to do more, former players. And I think you was a perfect guy. So,
hey, man, let me know, man. You just let me know who you want, and I'll hit him up.
We really, really appreciate you. So, from the King and Ragone Show, DJ Williams, we want to thank y'all for tuning into another episode, and we'll see y'all next time.
Yeah. Miami.